So every year at CES, I'm always hunting for smart home tech that actually makes life easier. And this year, one product that stood out was the all-new Navimow i2 all-wheel drive from Segway Navimow. Now, this isn't just another robot mower that's designed for perfectly flat yards. This is an all-wheel drive robotic mower built specifically for real yards with a variety of conditions. I mean, look at these giant all-terrain wheels. This thing looks like it can tackle anything. At their booth, Navimow was showing off its turf-safe zero-turn all-wheel drive system. And essentially, it uses its third wheel on the back to make nice tight turns without tearing up your lawn. I was also happy to see how simple the setup was. There are no boundary wires, no parameter cables. You literally just drop it down, hit the mow button, and it maps your yard using the network RTK. So my next thought was, how do I get this thing home to test it out? Because this model is rated for slopes of up to 45%, which is about 24 degrees, which is perfect because that is right around the slope of my front yard. So with little to no convincing, they actually sent one out for me to play with. So I want to thank Segway Navimow for teaming up with me on this video. Now, if you follow the channel, you'll know that I don't have a lawn. I've got fake grass in my yard, but I got a buddy who has a perfect yard for testing this mower out. And that is because he's got a big front yard and it's got a pretty nice slope on it. As far as his backyard, it's on the smaller side, but the front yard will do just fine for our testing. Now, this mower is specifically designed for small to medium yards, and that's because it can cover sizes from 0.15 to 0.25 acres, which is kind of the sweet spot for most suburban homes in my area. To get started, we placed the dock in a relatively flat area of the lawn. The grass was lifting it up a bit, but we used the anchors to bring it back down and get it flat so the mower can easily get back up on that dock. It has got a very long power cable, so we were able to stretch it all the way out to a good spot. We then connected the network RTK. This is what's going to allow it to connect to satellites that is going to help it map out your lawn and know where it is. Now, this is good because it prevents us from the old way of mapping out our yard, which used to be to bury a wire in the perimeter. Now with this network RTK, it does everything through satellite, and then you can use the app to kind of fine tweak the edges of your yard. The cool thing with this setup is that it does come in the box and there are no additional subscriptions to have it up and running. Now, mapping out the yard was incredibly simple. I put the mower on the dock. Within the app, I said, map my yard, and it went around the perimeter of the lawn, maybe about 3 feet from the edge, and got a really good picture of what the lawn looked like. I can then take the remote control that is built into the app and really fine tune those borders to get exactly up to the edge if I needed to do that. So now that we're all set up and we've got our borders mapped out, let's go ahead and start mowing. The biggest test I can throw at this mower right here is going to be tackling the slope. Now, this device is rated for slopes of up to 45% or 24 degrees. And this is where the big orange all-terrain tires really shine. Now, on a normal dry day, most mowers are going to be able to tackle the slope with no problem. But once conditions start deteriorating, we're talking fall, spring, we're talking rain coming through and mud, this is where these tires are really going to make a difference. Now, what I noticed with the big tires is how stable this mower is. We're not seeing any slipping, no hesitations, no awkward corrections. It actually just maintains a smooth, constant pace. That's where the benefit of all-wheel drive combined with traction control and electronic stability control. Now, even when the slope isn't extreme, the mower stays on track getting the job done. And that matters long-term, not just for climbing hills, but also from protecting your lawn from long-term wear and tear. Now I wanted to test it out in the backyard. And here's where things get interesting because there is not a gate on that fence that divide the backyard and the front yard. The gate is actually on the other side of his house, so you have to wrap around the entire side of the house. Now, you can set up within the app a path for the mower to get to that area on its own, or what I did is I actually picked up the mower, I walked it to the area that I wanted to be in, I set it down, and I kind of set it up as its own separate island. So what this means is that anytime I want it to mow the backyard, I have to pick it up and move it myself, but this way I can just bring it right through the house instead of having to walk around the entire perimeter of the house. I set it down, I hit create new map, and it went through and created a new map for the section that I wanted. I was then able to set the boundaries, avoid the trampoline legs, and we're good to go. It was that easy. Another feature with this mower is its zero-turn all-wheel drive, which is designed to not scuff up your lawn as it's repositioning. The i210 model, which is what I have, that's the one that covers the 0.25 acres, can run for about 120 minutes on a full charge, which is more than enough for this yard. When it needs to recharge back up, it takes 120 minutes to charge itself fully back up, and then it'll pick up where it left off in case your yard isn't able to be finished within that time frame. Now, something on this mower that allows it to get that full 2-hour time out of the battery is the small third wheel on it, which allows it to have tight turns, but also doesn't have a giant motor draining that battery out, which makes it more energy efficient. So in addition to the i2 AWD that we saw at CES, Navimow had a couple more models. We saw the i2 Lidar model, which actually doesn't use the network RTK at all, and instead uses Lidar navigation, including cameras on the device, to see and track everything that is in front of it, and helps it better navigate around obstacles and mapping out your yard. They actually had a demo on display that you can see here that was pretty cool of its Lidar technology. The other mower that they debuted is their flagship X4 series. This thing is an absolute beast. It covers up to 1.5 acres, has individual motors in the front wheels to allow for a 0-point turn, and is the ultimate large yard solution. If you guys want to know more about these models, I'll leave links in the description. So after seeing the Navimow i2 all-wheel drive at CES, and then running it at home, here are my takeaways. First off, this thing is extremely quiet. Here, listen to how quiet this is. This mower here is designed for small to medium-sized yards with slopes of up to 24 degrees. So this is gonna make a lot of sense for people in suburban areas with medium-sized yards. As far as the lawn care, it did a great job at maintaining its lines and getting all areas. There was a couple areas that it did find a hole and get stuck. It backed out, repositioned, started going around that hole, which I thought was great. I also like that on the top of it, you can manually adjust the height. You can go anywhere from 2 inches all the way up to 3.5 inches. If there was one tweak that I could make to this mower right here, it would probably be a bigger cutting disc. It would be nice if it got closer to the edges of this mower. However, that's gonna depend on your lawn and the setup that you have. If you're trying to cut up right against a fence, the smaller cutting blade underneath isn't going to get all the way to the edges, so you are still going to need some sort of weed whacker to really trim up the edges of your yard. But overall, this is a solid mower. It's small and compact, it's quiet, it navigates my yard with that RTK network, and something that I won't mind running every couple days to keep the lawn maintained at its current height. Now, if you guys want to know more about this mower, there will be links in the description to find out more. Drop any questions that you have in the comments and I will do my best to answer those for you. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.